The first rainstorm came with laughter. It fell hard and sudden, pounding the small rural town as neighbors stood on porches watching water race down roofs and into gutters. In the middle of it all stood one house that drew more attention than the storm itself. Its roof looked wrong, slanted in a way that seemed backwards, as if someone had built it upside down by mistake. People shook their heads, smirked, and whispered that grief had finally broken her common sense. No one expected that same storm to become the beginning of a quiet reckoning that would change how they saw her forever. Her name was Rachel Morgan, a Christian woman in her early 40s living in a forgotten stretch of the United States where traditions ran deep and change was rarely welcomed. She had moved to the town years earlier with her husband, believing in simple living, faith, and the promise of building a life slowly and honestly. But life unraveled faster than it had ever been built. An accident on a wet highway took her husband one autumn evening, leaving Rachel with a half-paid house, a tired heart, and a silence that followed her into every room. If you believe in silent heroes and second chances, in people who keep going even when the world laughs at them, take a moment right now to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. After the funeral, neighbors brought casseroles and kind words, but time moved on for everyone except Rachel. Bills piled up. The old roof of her house began to fail, dripping slowly at first, then staining the ceiling like spreading shadows. Contractors quoted prices she couldn't afford. Insurance covered little. Each rainfall felt like a warning she couldn't ignore. Rachel had always been curious, the kind of woman who read old books and asked quiet questions. One night, sitting under a leaking ceiling with a bucket catching water, she remembered something her grandfather once talked about: old barn designs, experimental roofs meant to manage water differently, shaped not to rush rain away, but to guide it carefully. She began researching late into the night, studying inverted and butterfly roof designs, how they collected rainwater, reduced pressure points, and distributed weight more evenly. The idea formed slowly, wrapped in doubt and fear. An upside-down roof would look strange. People would talk, but it would cost less, last longer, and solve more than one problem at once. It would collect rainwater, reduce leaks, and withstand storms better than traditional slope designs. More importantly, it was something she could afford to build herself with help from a few salvaged materials and a lot of patience. When construction began, the town noticed immediately. They watched Rachel climb ladders alone, measure angles that didn't make sense to them, and install a roof that dipped inward instead of shedding water outward. Laughter returned, sharper this time. Some called it foolish. Others said she was tempting disaster. A few suggested she was too proud to ask for help. Rachel heard it all. She felt it too. There were nights she cried quietly, wondering if she had made another mistake, if her loneliness had turned into stubbornness. But every morning, she prayed before picking up her tools, asking God not for approval, but for strength to finish what she believed was right. The roof took weeks longer than expected. Her hands blistered, her muscles ached, and money ran thinner than she liked to admit. Still, she kept going. When it was finally finished, the house looked different from every other one on the road. The roof sloped inward, guiding rain toward a central channel connected to sealed drains and storage barrels. From the outside, it looked wrong. From the inside, it felt secure. Then came the storms. That spring brought relentless rain, the kind that soaked the ground for days and tested every weak point in old homes. One by one, neighbors noticed stains on ceilings, dripping corners, and warped beams. Buckets appeared in living rooms. Frustration grew with every forecast. Rachel waited. Rain fell hard against her roof. But inside her home, there was no dripping, no spreading stains. The water flowed exactly where she had planned, collected neatly, stored for later use. Her house stayed dry, steady, quiet. While others scrambled for repairs, Rachel slept through the storms, listening to rain move like music across a design she trusted. Curiosity replaced mockery. People slowed their cars when passing her house. Some stopped pretending they hadn't laughed. One neighbor noticed her rain barrels stayed full while his well struggled. Another realized her roof hadn't shifted or sagged despite the heavy weather. When the biggest storm of the year arrived, everything changed. Rain poured nonstop for 2 days, overwhelming drainage systems, and exposing every flaw in rush construction. Several homes suffered serious damage. Ceilings collapsed in one house. Mold crept quickly into another. Insurance adjusters filled the town. Rachel's home stood untouched. Neighbors gathered quietly this time, standing in her yard, staring at the roof they once mocked. No one laughed. No one spoke much. They could see the proof in front of them. Rachel didn't say, "I told you so." She opened her doors instead. She showed how the roof worked, explained the principles she had learned, and shared her notes freely. She helped neighbors patch leaks, guided them toward affordable solutions, and even shared collected rainwater during shortages. Something shifted in the town. Respect grew where ridicule once lived. People began asking questions not just about roofs, but about resilience, about faith, about how someone so quiet could stand so firm. Rachel never preached. She lived her answers. What surprised her most was how the house healed her as much as it protected her. Building the roof had given her purpose during the loneliest season of her life. Watching it succeed restored a confidence she thought she had buried with her husband. She realized strength didn't always look loud or traditional. Sometimes it looked like a woman working alone while being laughed at, trusting wisdom others refused to see. Summer came, bringing heat and sudden storms. Rachel's roof continued to perform, channeling water, reducing heat buildup, and standing strong. Neighbors who once mocked her now asked for help redesigning their own homes. Some admitted they had been wrong. Others simply thanked her. Rachel would sit on her porch in the evenings, watching clouds gather, feeling peace settle where grief once lived. She still missed her husband deeply, but she no longer felt broken. She felt useful. She felt guided. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that quiet faith and courage can outlast mockery, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel so more stories like this can reach the world. Before the ending, we have a special request. Please comment below with one word that this story made you feel, or share a moment when you trusted your path even when others doubted you. When the next storm came, rain fell just as hard as before. But once again, Rachel's home stayed dry, steady, and whole. And in that quiet victory, the town learned a lasting lesson. Wisdom doesn't always look right at first glance, and sometimes the strongest protection comes from ideas the world laughs at, until it's too late to ignore them.